Hello and welcome to the Men's Cave on Faith Acquire Show. I am Faith Acquire. Thank you for always tuning in to the Faith Acquire Show. We had an amazing time on the last episode. While the Men's Cave is where we have wild and unfiltered conversation about issues that concerns, a lot of things that are happening in our society. And mostly we get perspectives from the men. But on today's episode, we have the women around to give their ones and twos on what they think about and the topic we're going to be talking about on today's episode. So if you're not following us on all our social media platforms, make sure you go there and follow us at Faith Acquire Show. I am still Faith Acquire, and I have my guests here with me who are ready to boast it up with everything possible. And today's topic is a little bit sensitive. It's something that has to do with health. A lot of people, especially in Nigeria, they don't feel like this topic is really needed. But I think the Gen Zs are bringing to infiltrate it into the conversations we're having. Let's get into our guests before I tell you guys what our topic is for today. We'll start from the lady in red, our beautiful lady in red. Let's get to know you.
My name is Oriomi Oguro, a digital marketer. That's all about me.
Oh, my name is Timmy. I have business scale. My competence are around digital strategy, growth, and things like that.
Amazing.
I am Bobo Blessing, the lead photographer for SAS Photography.
Obviously. Okay, let's get him.
My name is Dosnius. I'm a creative director and cinematographer.
Hi everybody, my name is Napa Ali, mechanical engineer, makeup artist, and serial entrepreneur. So glad to be here.
Amazing.
And I'm David Pratt. I'm a creative entrepreneur.
Amazing. So we have amazing people here, and I'm sure women were like, woo, 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 we have representatives here to fight for us. Of course you do. Now, on today's episode, we're going to be talking about mental health for men. How and why should men talk? Are men allowed to be vulnerable? Are men allowed to cry? Are men allowed to express, some of the emotions that they feel inside? We're going to be talking about that today, and we're getting on with it. We have such amazing people and brilliant people. Don't worry, these ones are not going to give you any gospels. They're going to feed you with every information you need. So let's start with Mr. Simi. How does it feel to be a man in this society and go through a mental breakdown?
All right, thanks, Faith. The concept of a man is actually very complex, in my own opinion, especially if you're a Nigerian. We are trained early to accept responsibilities. You are wired to look after your folks. You're wired to, and it can be a very, very tough job. For example, in my own case, I can't remember if I've ever cried. So that there are days I really wanted to cry, the tears couldn't flow.
Wow.
So, and it's about how I was brought up. It could be different from how some of you guys were brought up. So, I'm not going to filter it. It can be very, very tough. I remember a few years ago when I was completing NYC, and I was having heart palpitations, right? Like, what if I don't get a job? I had a girlfriend, there were expectations.
There's always a girl.
And all of that.
There's always a girl.
So, but it can be very, very challenging to be a man. But in my own case, I've read a couple of books. I think I've grown. So, and it's now beginning to be fun, because those things that used to, give you some sort of anxiety and stuff like that, you have sort of overcome. So in a nutshell, it can be fun, it can be very tough, it can also be very interesting.
Amazing. Pratt, how does it feel to be a man, in this society and go through a mental breakdown?
What it means to be a man. Actually, I was surfing the internet, I think last week, and then I came across one funny meme. And it reads to us, being a man means debit till death. But that's on a lighter mode though. So I think being a man comes with a lot of expectations and then responsibilities. And I will explain. The first expectation is the one you expect from yourself.
Pratt is like, you have been there. I can see the emotions, seeping through it.
I would talk like it because I'm the firstborn. Do you get? So let me just bring it back to the reality now. The first expectation you expect from yourself, and then they want the society to expect from you. Now, growing up, being the firstborn, my dad always told me, be the man of the house. So that's somehow sunk into my brain that, okay, you have to man up, you have to do this, you have to do that. And then even at school, we're taught that as a man, you have to do this, you have to do that. So I think it comes with a lot of expectations. But then the problem there is that when it becomes a burden, given the fact that we were born with heavier muscle mass, we were born with different psychological makeup, do you get? So expect to do a lot of things in society. And that's why when I was arguing with one of my friends then, and she was talking about feminism, I know this is way far from what we are discussing right now, but then I later realized that how about we switch roles? How about we switch responsibilities? How about we switch the benefits? Because I don't quite agree that the fact that being a man, you have to go through a lot. We're all humans, right? And then I was reading statistics and I realized that there is number of people that committed suicide were men.
So we're going to get back to you because Pat is carrying us the way we know. I'm literally close to tears right now, so I'm just going to try and come back to myself. But we're going to get back to you. Osas, this phrase that he just mentioned, be the man. You hear it a lot. They say when you go for a funeral, people say, be the man, don't cry. When you go for something very sad, or when there's a responsibility that has to be taken over, they say be the man and do it. How much has this statement affected men's mentality towards responsibilities, towards things, handling things, and expressing themselves when they are vulnerable?
Well, to be honest, I would say that statement has. I know everybody is talking about the whole negative of this whole thing, but that statement, be the man, at least for me, has motivated me, has helped me. It has shaped my mindset. And I feel like that statement, be the man, should not just be focused on men alone. It should be a unisex statement. It should be something for everybody, because that statement has helped me to redirect my goals, helped me to handle my emotion better, helped me to even face this topic that we're talking about, the whole mental health issue. Mm-hmm. Part of being the man is understanding that there's something called mental health, and it's something you have to be aware of and something you have to take care of. Mm-hmm. It is part of your responsibility. That statement, being the man, just encompasses your full responsibility as a man. It makes you get aware of every aspect of your life that you need to take charge and take control over. I can rephrase that statement to say, being the man means taking charge and taking control.
And you see an optimistic, motivational speaker. You're here, listening to him. During the time when Pat was, talking, he said something about, women and men switching roles and seeing how much is it. Oriomi, do you think women have it easy? I know we're talking about mental health for men, but we can't just not talk about it. Do you think women have it easy, in comparison to guys?
So I don't think women have it easy, but I also feel like you can't quantify with men, because there are certain things that women go through that men don't, and there are certain things that men go through that women don't. So it can't be quantified. Nobody has it easy. Each gender has to own whatever it is that is peculiar to them. That's what I feel.
Amazing. What is the biggest cause? Right now you say a man will say because I don't have sex, or because I don't have money, because I don't have a babe. What is the biggest cause of a man's mental breakdown?
Mainly it used to come in different, mental breakdown is caused by different things. Some people it can be education, some people it can be finance, it can be relationship, it can be family, it can be even with business. So it depends on whatever the profile of the individual. So if it's someone that is, maybe you are seeking for a job, you have issues with maybe connection, you don't have anybody that is going to connect you with so person, or maybe even your tendency as a man to get a job is low compared to if a woman is applying for the same role. A woman has high tendency to apply to get a job than a man, even in Nigeria right now. Anyway, so
why am I like?
Yeah, like I'm sure.
First of all, I want to hear your.
I do not agree with that. I do not agree with the fact that.
Okay, so let us talk about front desk. If a guy and a lady, even based on qualification, education, who do you think they have get a job?
I don't understand your question. You basically made a generalistic statement, and now you are being.
No, I'm trying to give you.
Okay, so what do you know?
That situation. I mean, most people consider a front desk officer as the first point of call to the company. I can see why a woman would want
Why should
like
they be a woman?
Sorry.
see. Just let me answer
Just
your
give me
question.
why should they be?
Okay, let me explain. I feel like when it comes to women generally, it's easier. They seem more approachable.
No.
Yes, like
You
see,
said,
it's
you said
no,
the
no.
word. You said the word. You used the phrase. Because
See.
you asked the question.
I kind of think you guys should let me finish. Okay, thank you. When like it's easier with the way the world is structured right now for
The way the word is structured.
Dotun, please let her talk, please. Okay.
I think we should give Dotun the floor. He has
No,
something
no,
on
no,
his chest.
sorry, Dotun. I think Dotun was talking from the perspective of the normal word that they say it's a woman's world. Let me tell you
They
personal
say that?
experience now. Listen.
But actually,
Listen.
it's a
Let
man's
me
word.
wait. Let me learn. Listen. Let me tell you something. Let me talk from a personal experience. Now, there was a time I was working for one organization like that, so they used to advocate for women. So they were talking about abuse at some point, and then I was angry, and I was like, "Would you say they don't abuse guys too?"
Exactly.
But the thing is, if a guy like me come out and I'm like, a lady raped me or I was molested, how would you feel?
Okay.
Listen, how would you feel? Another thing is this, sorry, would you please let me learn? Another thing is this. There was a case at some point, listen, there was a case at some point that I think a particular footballer was accused of molesting a young girl. Now, the girl lied. I think it was, I'm trying to remember, this Brazilian, Neymar, yeah. The girl was lying. But because the girl came out that she was molested, they believed her. Now, things like that are easily believed when a lady comes out compared to when men do the same
So
thing.
do you think that is a border point to why a lot of men do not come out to express
No,
themselves?
the reason why a lot of men
when
don't
they
come
have-
out, sorry, the reason why a lot of men don't come out to express is because, see, they see them as weakling. If you come out and you let's say, for example, like you're broken, you're crying to your wife, she will see you as a weakling. Another thing is that, see, instead of coming out to talk, rather soak that in, causing a lot of harm to us.
Prosper, I want you to I'm sorry, Osas, I want you to lean on, this conversation, because I think that is why we have women here, to give their own perspective to why they think a lot of men are just bottling a lot of things inside. Because at the end of the day, nobody's going to force it down your throat to say what you want to say. You have to, make that decision to do that. And I heard a lot of you saying women have it more easier than guys. So, Prosper, I want you to lean on it. Do you think a lot of women have it easier than guys, especially in terms of, the mental health issues and, mental breakdowns and stuff?
I think problem is everybody's portion from beginning to above. What that looks like to you is not for me to undermine. Do you understand? So I feel like when you now bring subjective situations and then make that the vein of your argument, I have a problem with that. I still remember having a conversation with a friend of mine, and he was complaining. And you know this because you see my status and you see how I advocate for men. I have brothers and I love them to death. Do you understand? Like, it would hurt me deeply if any of them were found dead, or I am aware of what men go through. But the point is, men too, as you are demanding that you are heard, are you ready to be vulnerable? I remember having this conversation with a friend, and I was like, I really wish, the men in my life would not shoulder these things by themselves. Do you understand? I want to be there for you, but I don't know what you're going through. I'm not a mind reader, and I'm not a witch, and I'm not going to just come and, magically appear in your head.
Okay, so Prosper, let me move through. Okay, Osas, okay, tell me what you want to say.
So the fact that we're having this topic and we're talking about mental health for men, and we cannot even find a common ground in 2020.
It just shows that.
It just shows exactly the exact reason why a man will not even want to talk about
Okay.
mental health in the first place.
I completely disagree.
She made a point where she was saying that, are we ready to be vulnerable? When you are looking at mental health for women in 2022, you are not bothered about whether she's going to be vulnerable or not. It doesn't concern you whether what is your own interest is to make sure that what you are doing, what you are saying, doesn't in any way make her feel uncomfortable, make her feel hurt. That is why in 2022 you raise a rape case in court and there's a 90% chance that the woman is going to win the case, just because of her word.
Yes,
So-
she's a woman already.
So Mr. Simi, a lot of them are saying women are not, giving men, the chance to, say all these things and be vulnerable. What do you think?
All right, so I was checking some statistics before.
Well, trust me, on Faith Equary Show, statistics, research. Because we bring in a lot of people that are very knowledgeable about it. Do you get? So they tend to do a lot of research. They want to give you guys the best of information.
So I'm actually extremely data driven. So I'm very pragmatic. I don't make emotional decisions, technically. So before I answer that question, right, I don't agree that women have fairer chances and opportunities than men. And in my career, I've hired over 150 people. Last year alone, I interviewed for a role. I interviewed 26 people. And the closest to the person I was going to hire was a woman. However, there are some careers or some industries that you see more of women. You hardly find women that paint skyscrapers. So we cannot win this argument of men have more opportunities. And if we go that route, we are going to miss the point. So back to what we were talking about. It's very expensive to be vulnerable, right? Let me share a very sad story, right? A day to my birthday, I lost an 8-month-old child. We lost the baby, and I could not just talk to anybody. The day the baby was evacuated, around 10 a.m., I had a 2 p.m. meeting that was going to anchor for the whole company. I showed up. You will not know that I was hurting, I was weeping inside, but nobody understood my pain. There was also, who do you even talk to? Luckily, eventually I found, I could speak to one person that really helped. But you don't want to be, there's a thing like between ego and being judged. I've been broke, I have been dead broke. And you open up to people and they mess you up. Let me wrap up with this. About 3 or 4 years ago, I was in one of these states in Nigeria, and I was with one of my very good friends who we like to hang out. So he has this habit of, we pay and pay. So I noticed that for like 3 months, he was not coming for. I'm like, guy, what's up? He said, oh, moment. I lost my job. Now my madam, they help. We could not, you can't just say some things. And I don't know how we are going to solve that problem. Then again, who do you even become vulnerable to? Where is the channel to air your grievance? So let
me hold you down. Let me hold you down there a little bit. Now let's leave it from the women's, part. Have you ever talked to your guy, Osas, that okay, I'm mentally exhausted, I'm mentally drained before? Have you ever been vulnerable? Because when Prosper was talking, she was asking, do you even want to be vulnerable? Do you want to get to that point where I want to be vulnerable? I don't care what anybody thinks. I don't care what anybody says. I have this person as my friend and I want to be vulnerable to this person. Leave the women out of this. Have you ever been in that situation?
I'm going to say this based on statistics again. I'm on a group. We're all friends and we're all guys. And we dedicate a day in the week to somebody. I are just coming.
Where are you finding your guys? Because
That's a very good question.
I know some guys that do not have any friend, do not have anybody to talk to.
Now I'm getting somewhere with that. And we started it and we could not go past day 1.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
we celebrated before the exit. Nice one.
You know why? Because when we had the first person's story, and then all of us also know our own story is similar. The best option is just to stay happy. The best option we can do for ourselves to help our mental health is to not talk about it. So instead, just crack jokes around ourselves and try to make ourselves very happy, because there's really no point. Men were going through a lot. And you start going through that a lot from a very, very early stage. I'm talking as somebody that has 2 psychiatric nurses as parents. I'm supposed to be in a space where I'm enjoying that mental care. And yet, I'm in Africa, I'm in Nigeria, and it's 2022. And I have to remind professionals sometimes that this is what I'm crossing the borderline. I am messing up my mental health. and they are doing their best.
To help
Doing
out.
their best, their very best as professionals. But I'm a man, and they are doing very well with their female children. They are doing very well with other people's female children.
If I want to lean on that point, I just feel like there's a foundation that needs to be pushed, because there's already a mentality. For us women, you are a man. It means that you're strong, you're confident, you're bold, you're never broke, you're always on point, you're mentally safe, you're mentally secured. Once you are not giving that, you are weak, you are incompetent, and you can't handle yourself, right? But at the end of the day, we too don't have it easy. I don't know how. So I want Oriyomi to talk about it. Why is it easier for women to express themselves and be mentally vulnerable? I know we are soft, we are very sensitive and stuff. Why is it easier for women than men? Apart from the fact that we have the cultural values on ground that says the man has to be the man. Do you get? Yeah.
Why is it easier? First of all, the Bible says that women are helpmates.
Preach, sister.
Supposed to come into the picture to help you as a man.
Yeah.
So it means that as a man, you already have figured it out. You already have the structure, but just coming to complement. That's what the Bible says, right? So it's easier for us to. We're not the one leading. We're not the one setting the foundation. We're just coming in to play a part. So it's easier to hear our expresses, our opinions, what we feel. For example, if as a man, husband, head of the home, you already have plans, solid plan. In 2 years, we're going to have 3 kids and all of that. That is the plan that the man has. For certain reasons, if it doesn't sit well with you as a woman, you will come out and talk, right? But if a woman comes and says, I don't want to have kids, it's going to be a problem. Because the man, and yeah, we can't remove the fact that the African culture doesn't affect it. It affects it a lot. I see, I'm a woman, but pardon me, that mentality alone has made women so entitled. It's the truth. It has made women so entitled. Most times we forget that men are also humans like us. They have blood and water flowing through their body.
Thank you.
They have a mind, they have a brain. No, it's the truth. But then...
Okay, Yomi, let me cut you a little bit because of time. Because I'm still going to get back to you. But me personally, I think I want to be the bad guy. I really cannot handle a vulnerable man. I can't. No. What's a vulnerable man? Exactly, that's the next question. So, Dotun, who is a vulnerable man? What is a vulnerable man? In this society, let's put it to this society. Who is a vulnerable man?
I don't think I really see men being vulnerable. I don't think so.
Sorry to cut you short. Can a woman accept that we term her as vulnerable in 2022? Because terming a man as vulnerable, that's a very heavy word.
Yeah.
That's a very, very heavy word. You said something about foundation. What's the foundation? I think now men, the average man, understands that his role as a man is to have it at the back of his mind that the woman is always right. He has that already. He understands that his role is to understand the woman, whether she's talking, whether she's not talking, she's saying something. Can a woman do that with a man? Let's start from here.
Let me ask some questions to hear. Just for one, I've never seen my dad before he left. I never saw him sick. I never saw my dad cry. So to me, every man is like that.
You don't get problem.
For your
mind, you don't get problem.
Do you know, I didn't know my dad, probably didn't have money. Because if he says he didn't have money, it's just like, today, tomorrow, he didn't have money, then next 3 days. So my mentality is every man has to have money. Why would you have money? Why would you be okay? Why would you be mentally okay? That's why I say the foundation. No, wait. I'm trying to tell you how I feel or how I felt, before I started knowing a lot of things, right? Do you think women can handle men's vulnerability?
I will answer that, but let me ask you a question, please. Have you ever for once in your lifetime felt you were too broke to be in a relationship?
Yeah.
As a lady?
Yes.
No.
Okay, have you ever...
Yes. You know what? I'm really going to be honest.
I know the reason why I asked that question,
Yeah.
okay? See, the inability to provide, to man up to the task you expect to man up to, inability to do some kind of thing in society, will make you feel like you are behind as a man, and that affects us. And I want you to know that that notion that men are not emotional as women, it's wrong. We bottle it up doesn't mean we are not emotional.
I'm very emotional.
Do you get? And let me tell you something. Say, it says something about psychiatry hospital. Okay, there is some groups of people. They did a survey, I think, outside the country.
I got statistics and
Yeah,
research.
so they found out that when you go to the psychiatry hospital, you find men more than women. When you go to prison, you find men more than women. Have you ever asked yourself why prison is filled with more men than women?
They commit more crimes.
Yeah. Why do they commit more crimes? Listen, why?
So should I be blamed
Listen,
on the woman?
no, I'm not blaming. I'm talking about men's mental health now.
Yeah.
Do you get?
Because of the society force will
Do you get?
tend to commit crime.
Do you get? They feel like, okay, they see, naturally, by default, there's all of everybody resting on their shoulders, and they're always conscious of that.
So let's get to the question, yeah. Do you think women can handle men's vulnerability?
Until women stop, until they can define their own kind of vulnerability. That's number one. And number two, until they can stop seeing other men like the way they saw Will Smith, Tyrese, Kanye West. Let me now tell you what happened to those people. The last time they came out to talk about or shed tears, they turned them to memes on WhatsApp.
Memes.
Now look at what happened to Will Smith too. I don't mean to bring that back though.
But was it the women that turned them to memes?
No. I'm not saying that. Listen, I'm talking about if they come out to cry or show how vulnerable they are.
But that's
They end up being laughed at. Listen, they end up being laughed at. And that's why we never come out to talk.
I'm sorry, but I'm struggling in this conversation. I'm going to tell you why I'm struggling.
Okay.
I'm struggling because it's looking like a war between the men and the women.
It's not.
I know it's not a war, but somehow that's how that conversation is being put. It was not just women that made memes of Will Smith.
I didn't say.
Everybody did.
You didn't.
Men can't be vulnerable to men. Men can't be vulnerable to women.
Listen.
So who do you want to vulnerable to?
Listen, this is what I'm trying to say. Like,
Everybody. Let's not segregate it.
Listen.
It is. If not, you're going to offend somebody and now say,
No.
you are the cause of the man's problem because you don't understand what a man's vulnerability is. But that's not true at all.
That is not what I'm trying to say.
Men, do you understand what your vulnerability is? Do you understand what it means to let your brother be vulnerable
There's
to
something
you?
that Faith said, and I like to be very clear. She said, I cannot handle a vulnerable man. For argument's sake, can you define vulnerability so that we can
Yes.
Define
what that
Now,
means to you.
my own point of vulnerability is a man that can express himself. Or I'm not saying express himself. Expressing yourself is part of the relationship. We have to communicate. We have to do a lot of things. But the aftermath of your expressiveness or whatever, what do you do after it? Do you still want to stay in that space? Do you still want to be in that space? Because as women, I can tell you now, I'm depressed and we want to be babied. We want to be pampered. We want to be like that. Yeah, we're still. It might not be that long. But for me, I don't want a man to stay there, right? I want him to move from that space. I want you to communicate to me. But the problem is, I do not know the duration of time you have to be in that space. I do not understand what it means. And I don't think men explain or give us a chance to know exactly what it means to be vulnerable. So I want you to.
All right, so you are, in my opinion, struggling to define vulnerability in your own terms.
Yeah.
Right? So let me try and clarify. So I lose my job now. Yeah, during lockdown, and it happened to a lot of men. Luckily, I'm in the tech space, so we could work remotely.
Yeah.
Who never thought they could lose jobs? They lost their job, right? And the man comes home crying. Is that vulnerability? I know a case of some couple, because of the guy's job, they are not very actually active. But when lockdown came, the man lost his job, the woman ran out, "Wait, don't kill me." That's the only way to express the anger. So, and I think that, and like you said, a lot of women are not even wired or trained or understand how to deal with a man. I understand and I agree that men are, in my opinion, very complex. We can be very complex because we don't like to express ourselves, right?
No.
We don't like to
For
be-
me, I like to express myself, but the thing is just that when I know that this person I'm trying to express myself to, what do you think? You don't even have anything you can contribute to make the situation better.
I think that is the problem. Men are looking more for solutions than comfort.
Like, why would I want to express
Okay.
Do you think?
Okay.
Do you think?
That makes
That makes sense, but you just said how long should he be there? There are some things you can't control. You can't control yourself.
I just have to say though, you are emotional. You just said you are an emotional man. There are women who aren't emotional as well. These people like this exist on both sides of the spectrum. That's what I'm trying to say right now. That this vulnerability thing is just as much a struggle for some men as it is for some women. And some men want to be vulnerable. Some women don't want to be vulnerable. Like, we exist everywhere. But let's not make it seem like, oh, it's just typically a man's thing. There are women who are just like men who don't like to express themselves.
But
Do you understand?
can we agree that it's very hard
I
for
don't
men
think
to be
so.
more vulnerable?
I don't think that you can think that's that way.
Sorry, the reason why I'm not going to agree to that is because it's very simple. So for me, I like to do things black and white, basic approach.
Which cannot always be.
Yes, I know.
Which is
I
not
know.
confirmed.
I know.
But
I know. I'm going to use a very basic example. So a woman is going through a lot. She lost her job. She lost her baby, and then you see her in that space. Already, as a man, your default instinct is to be there.
Exactly.
Regardless of whatever it is she throws at you. You are not looking for when is she going to come out of this. Your job is to provide the solution, to provide a space where she's comfortable enough to be herself again, the person you know. Now that same scenario happens to a man. A woman is going to get to a point where she's going to be like,
She will be tired. She will be very tired.
You get so you have to get to a point where, as a guy can look at a woman being vulnerable and consider it to be cute, to be sweet, to be nice. A woman will look at a man, regardless of what she considers as vulnerability.
But do you think?
Nice.
Okay. So do you think that, because I know women to be very expressive and very communicative, especially when they're in spaces like that, they tend to tell you, "This is what I want. I don't." But men just bottle it up when the woman says, I don't think I'm comfortable with you being like this. Just says, okay, I'll manage it. Don't worry, I'll be the man. Now, Mr. Simi, I want to ask you, have you ever been vulnerable to your wife before?
Well, not 100%, right? Really. So you also need to understand the person you are dealing with.
Sure.
Okay. Number one, you have to understand. I started working not because I needed to. I'm very entrepreneurial. At 13, I was a cobbler. I was in GSS3.
I started by 6.
So I've never not understood how to provide. Now let me share typical examples. So a few years ago, one of my friends was going out, was traveling out of Nigeria. It's in the US now. He didn't have money. So he called me. I was in church and I had a few dollars at home, maybe $200 or $250. So I ran home. I left church. I went to give him $100. So we go home. Everybody was fighting. Why did you leave? You are not a Christian. 7 months down the line, rubber hit the road, challenge at work. Nobody knew. I just rented a house. I just rented a new house. You have to provide. I had a 2-month-old baby. Responsibility all over the place. And I was down in my struggle. My head was banging. Hey man, children, they don't fast. How many of you know? They don't fast. No, you don't know. You can fast and drink water, or you can know you're okay. And I was just walking, and my phone rang. Guess what? It was my friend I located to the US 6 months later. So I ran over, so I could have called, blah, blah, blah. Long story short, I gave him $100. He sent me 76, so sad. He sent me 76,000 naira, which was $200 as of then. Now, this story I'm telling you is 2016.
Yeah.
So now 76,000 is just, So I have been vulnerable. But I can only be vulnerable to you to the extent that you can alleviate my pain, if not the stress.
Exactly.
So I'd rather be looking for a job, for example, because I know she cannot help me in that area, and figure it out and go and be vulnerable to you or whoever can help. So my vulnerability is based on where I think we lost the time. Like, I don't know if you, I don't know. I got over it in quotes a week later. But about 6 weeks later, he hit me and I just entered my car and I was driving. I said, I don't know, I'll be back. This thing happened this year. So sometimes and I'm the head of a division, I have 48 people reporting to me and everybody is seeing me everywhere, oh, great guy. But I'm hurting. So everybody I go to, I hear, God give it and take it. I don't understand it.
Sorry, I mean, do you think women can handle men's vulnerability?
No.
Especially in this
Actually, no.
blatant no?
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
Thank you. That's how
I don't think so. Because just like you said, firstly, you need to know who you're dealing with. Secondly, women are entitled. That entitlement is what always shakes the table for me. Because I mean, you don't want to get home and you don't want your man to say, cliche, and then you have kids. You have kids, and like you said, kids don't fast. I mean, if the adults can decide that, okay, it's a different thing if they're not even kids in the picture. You guys can find a way to, okay, you eat in the morning, I eat in the night. But when you have kids, what are you going to tell them? Or they come home and say, mommy, I want to join the music club. They want us to buy violin, and you don't have money, and you're looking at your husband. So I don't think women can. At some point you hear stuff like, our mother supported our father, they were there. But the truth is, when you really sit them down and talk to them, they did it in pain. They were not happy. In court, they were not really supportive. They were just coping.
They were just doing it.
They were just coping.
Prosper, when she was talking, something just came into my mind. Do you think that the reason why a lot of women, have put men in that very high esteem is because of some of the expectations that men have presented to the women? I can take care of you. I will be your shoulder. I will be your support system. I will be your all in all. And sometimes it's all for yash. We know. But they're saying it, they're giving you all this. So the woman is like, okay, I'm covered. Insurance covers me. The man is there for me. Do you think some of these expectations are the reason why when the man begins to fail in this aspect, the women begin to realize that I don't think you are the man for me because you can't meet up to this? What do you think?
My pastor's wife will always say something. She will say, don't go with the exceptions, follow the principle. Because the exceptions are like one in lifetimes occurrences. They are not exactly, do you understand? And for me, I do agree that women chase after men for those reasons. A safety net is a good feeling for everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be safe. And that's just the truth of it, do you get? But I do know that there are exceptions as well. And for me, that is what I have tried to position myself as in all of these conversations, because you know that we have had this conversation before. You remember the conversation about the shawarma,
Yes, of course.
Exactly, and you knew where I stood. I don't believe that a man should be anybody's safety net. I feel like you should be your own safety net. You should work for your future, work for the things that you want. I see it as toxic masculinity. I don't think that should be a man's responsibility, but that's what it is today for a lot of people. I am what I am, and I know who I am. I know what I bring to that man's life and what he's and the table.
To the table. To the table.
So it's okay if you don't feel like you can accept his vulnerability. That's you, and I respect that for you. Find a man who isn't vulnerable, who can take your lack of ability to accept your vulnerability. I want to have a relationship where I'm deeply happy, where we are both each other's safe places. That is my desire for
So
my life.
I'm going back to the question because I really need to understand, because a lot of men have put themselves in some situations with their own hands that I can't do these things. And we women, they say they are, one-way traffic. Women are, multifaceted. As they are looking at you, as you are doing this one, they want other things coming in. And when it's not coming in, it's like this thing. So do you feel, Dawson, I'm going to pose it to you. Do you think these expectations that men have put for themselves, let's leave women out of this, out of this equation. Do you think men have put some responsibilities and expectations for themselves that they can't meet, and it's causing them to have these mental breakdowns?
If we should go back to when we started, like the society is just like that. It's the expectation from the guys to provide. And again, if I want to, like she said, if you want to get a lady, you need to tell her things that will make her to be safe. So I will agree with you that men put themselves in that situation. Also, the society also puts men in that situation.
In that situation. So if you don't want to talk to a lady, you don't want to talk to your guy, who do you want to talk to?
God.
Or you talk to yourself. Like me, I talk to myself a lot. Like I know most of the things that come to me that are very, very heavy. Like I just know already. There's no point talking to anybody. Like you can't solve my problem. Like some days ago now, I was just feeling so much pressure. I was working and nobody's putting pressure on me. But what is in my head already? I've calculated like almost 17 things. Like, oh God, I can't really handle this thing again. I can't tell a client that I can't do this job. come on now, I know they won't like it. But you know, like the pressure is just there and I'm breaking down. I can't talk to anybody. I just have to summon courage, share up and continue.
And put yourself down. Because we're going to be rounding up. We're going to be rounding up this episode, and I think we're going to have like a part 2 of it where we get, more people to come talk to us about it. So if you have, something that you want to talk about on the reason why men are not being vulnerable in the society, just drop a comment, below, and let us know what you think. Or if you also want like a part 2 of it, let us know in the comment section. We're wrapping up and going into games to spice it up. Everybody's so everybody is so emotional. So Pratt, let's round it up. How can men become more vulnerable? How can women accept men's vulnerability? Because we have men killing themselves. We have men, just like what Dotun said. He was shaking, he was under so much pressure. And then he looked at all of us in the office, looked at everybody and said, no, I can't talk to anybody because, I can't just be vulnerable. So how do we get to a point where we break and change this narrative and give men this free air, this free space to express themselves, and give women the chance to and the ability to handle, such vulnerability?
Well, I'll go back to what I said at the time. I think we should know what works best for us, like coping mechanisms. And I was saying something that the prison is filled with more men. She didn't let me land. I was trying to say something.
Okay, now fly. Don't
now
worry.
let me fly now. See, instead of talking to a lady or talk to a guy like us, we resolve into addiction, like smoking, like drinking. Now let me land. I had a story from my friend. Like, he said he wasn't going to talk to his girlfriend concerning what was wrong with him. And I asked him why. He said because the same girlfriend is going to talk to after saying, Belema Binu Umada, gas it only. No, gas it only. Babe, I need to subscribe. Stuff like that. The same person you feel should give you the comfort you're expecting. The same person adding to your problem. Do you get? But that's what I'm going to. Now, we resolve into addiction. Do you get? We end up smoking, drinking. Like me, when I feel so down, I read. And it works for me. Do you get? I read and it works for me.
I'm sure some Lagos guys are like me. Traffic.
So,
Aja, Oshodi.
so
You not carry book.
So what I'm trying to say is that, see, this needs to be addressed, properly. Because we will keep having issues like this in society if it's not properly addressed. And I think, some of us talk to therapists, some talk to psychiatrists.
Which is very expensive in Nigeria.
Very expensive. Some talk to psychiatrists, But then the bottom line is they say, we should all know what works best for us. Some of us can talk to our mom, call your mom or your dad, talk to him or her. Do you get? Mm-hmm. But see, if we don't address this, we have issues.
Yeah, continuously. We're wrapping up the show, and we're thinking this is not going to be the end of the conversation, because this is something that is really, really sensitive, very volatile, and it needs to be addressed, as soon as we can, as continuously as we can, so we can, change this mindset. So Prosper, wrapping up, the show, let's get what you think, how men can be more vulnerable, how women can handle this level of vulnerability that men, are ready to express, but they don't have the go ahead to, let's talk about it before we.
Okay, so one of the things I realized in the conversation was that there were a lot of assumptions made for both sides of the spectrum. And for me, I would always stand my ground and say, I don't know what you go through. I want to be there for you. I want to help you. But I cannot understand the situation that I'm not privy to. And so, this concept of being vulnerable, somebody just has to take long. I know that it is already difficult for both sides. The men are already on their guard because they feel like these women are not for us. And then the women are there like, maybe I don't want that money, But at the same time, somebody has to break the ice. Somebody has to break that barrier. I don't know how it's going to be done, but I'm going to do my part. And I'm going to hope that I have wisdom through the mistakes I made and through the effort that I put out. And that somebody sees my sincerity and sees that I really want to be there for them. And they just decide to bring their words and I say, let's talk to this person. I can learn. That is one of the beautiful things about being human. You can learn. There's nothing you don't. I thought engineering was hard. I shall graduate. So the point still remains that I can learn that thing that you think is so difficult to communicate. Trust me. If you feel like I am not doing things that can make you vulnerable. Like maybe the way I'm moving, like this girl, communicate that to me. Like the things you do sometimes makes me feel like I can't trust you with this matter. And give me that opportunity and that grace to adjust myself. That's what I want.
Amazing. Just on a lighter note, a lot of us, graduated from schools and we did not know how we graduated. We just went out with it, and when we came out, we're not like we knew you knew.
And some of us knew
And
how they graduated.
some knew. It's a testimony that I left, the university in Nigeria. So let's get back to the conversation. Yeah, we're going to get you. So let's get to how do you think men can be more vulnerable? How do you think women can handle, this men's vulnerability, to a large extent?
Honestly, I don't know. I just think it's going to be like that forever. I don't think this society is going to get better. Like, see on Twitter now, like every day, if it's a guy, although there are situations like, now guy they do guy, like go to a guy's DM as a guy, what you do, ask and say, bro, I did this kind of situation, I bet if he find a small part. If he shank you.
But the problem is you guys are always asking for pa. Do you ask for, can I talk to you? Can I tell you?
You tell the person, definitely you tell the person the problem already. You tell the person the problem already, okay? But then a lady can go to that same guy's DM and the same problem, even copy the same format, copy and same thing, you get solution. It's just going to be like that. I don't believe it's going to get better.
I think the mental breakdown for men transcends just money. It goes to different aspects and different faces, and we're still going to talk about it. So let's get your take on it so that we can get to games. Please, I'm emotionally downcast. It's getting worse, my dear. Osa, let's get you.
Okay, so what I would say is for a woman to help a man and his mental health, every idea that she feels she has or she knows about the man, she needs to drop it and understand the man. She needs to understand who she is with. Yet, we have been talking about something and everybody's been emphasizing on how a man needs to communicate more. And I personally, as a man, I had to learn the dynamics of when a woman is not talking. You get? And that is something that is a big deal. It helps you to become a man when you can understand what a woman means when she's not saying anything. And relate with her through that. And get her to a point where she can begin to talk to you again. You get? We have all talked about being safe space for everybody. If you are going to be a safe space as a woman, you need to understand that there might be a time that this man will not be able to talk. And you need to get him to talk. You need to understand who he is, understand his dynamics, and from there, you can begin to show empathy. That is where you can begin to show compassion. Any other thing you are doing before that is just sympathy.
Just on a lighter note, if a woman calls you big head and she asks you for money for a week, she's actually helping you through your mental breakdown. She's trying to show you that I love you, my dear. I'm still here for you. I'm just asking you these things, just to incorporate you into my life. I know women are happy now. Mr. Simi, I want you to lean on it. How men can be more vulnerable and help their mental state of mind to get.
All right, my thought aligns a lot with Sars. And you need to pick up mental cues. Men are very consistent. Women are a little bit more complex in terms of behavioral patterns. A man does the same thing literally almost every time. So once you flag that there is an anomaly, you need to pick it. The second thing I probably add is be genuinely interested in what interests you. For example, how do we relax when we watch football at home? Not that the man is watching football, you have to whatever. You have to be genuinely interested in what interests the man. Most of the problems men have, where do you get it from? From your source of income, your source of life. If you want to attack a man, attack where they make money. That's all. If you want to attack a woman, attack where she gets emotional strength from, wherever she wants. A man can be heartbroken if he still has his body fat. So you have to be genuinely interested, in my opinion, in what interests the man. Right? You have to pick up mental cues. We are different. He may be more expressive. I wasn't brought up to be expressive. You just bottle the whole thing and you figure it out. You don't figure it out. You talk to God. So I think if women can be more intentional about understanding the reality, and maybe the final piece will be the kind of children we are even raising.
Yeah.
You need to understand that it's okay to fail. It's okay to, not to have some winnings. And let me wrap up with it. There's a story I read on Twitter, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, an American, who the son left the house and said, I'm not a man, I'm good. And some months later, he blew up all his money and he came back and the dad opened the house and said, come in and gave him money. So I want to be there for my son. So parenting too, we have to be more intentional about the kind of people we are raising and understand that men are human.
I really think that everybody has said what's on my mind, but I think I'm going to lay more emphasis on being intentional because everybody's makeup is different. We all have different upbringing, different experiences that have shaped our lives and our perspective towards lives. So I feel like firstly, understand the person you're with, be intentional about the person, care for the person. When it's time to show sympathy, show sympathy. When it's time to just keep quiet and listen, keep quiet and listen.
Yeah.
When it's time to talk. So it starts from being intentional for me. And then also I'm also going to put emphasis on the kids we are raising. Times are changing. Trust me, Africa is not the way it used to be. Yes, we still have some certain fundamental laws and all that still guide us. But when it comes to our kids, I mean, it's okay to tell your boy you can cry if you feel like crying. It's okay to tell your girl child that you can also earn your own money. You don't have to lean on a man to get money. So I feel like it starts from you. It starts from me. It starts from you. It starts from individuals. If we're going to change the narrative, that's what I'm just going to say.
Amazing. So we've had an amazing conversation, in terms of, talking about men's vulnerability, mental health for men. And I think the conversation doesn't end here because we are just trying to play our part in this 30 minutes, 40 minutes discussion, which doesn't cover for most of the issues that these men are going through and are bottling up inside. So to drive this conversation into action, we are going to get into games. And we have games that are going to, pipe up the mood and make everybody very lively. But we're starting off with this game. So this is the game time. We have Group A and we have Group B. And Group A is going to give a representative. Group B is going to give a representative. And one of the Group A members are going to make sure that their representative cries. And then the other one cries. So we have 1 minute. We have 1 minute, and it can't be the lady. I'm sorry, it can't be the lady. Yes, because if we want to have this conversation, we have to push it into action, right? So I want you to be vulnerable. I do not want to, like I said, I do not know how to manage a vulnerable man. But I'm willing to learn, and I've been learning actually. I'm willing to learn, and just give me money if you have. That's my problem. Give me if you have. So we're getting into the games right now. So who is your representative, and who is going to be gingering who?
We need somebody that can cry.
I don't know what you want to do. Whether you want to tell the person, remember? Yeah, it can't be a woman. I don't want the woman to be the representative. Okay, I'm already stereotyping the entire. Okay, so we can have a woman from. But yeah, that's the game. I'm sorry, it has to be a man.
All right, so can I cry?
Of course.
Impossible.
But this is yes. No, I think
it doesn't look like I'm the woman.
No, I think the impossible is a problem. That word itself is a problem because it's possible for you to cry. It is. I think at the end of the day, men do not actually.
So Faith, right? You're not being empathetic to us.
So okay, now I'm not.
Honestly.
These men are trying to cajole me into changing my mind, but I refuse to change my mind. So who is your representative here?
Okay,
Dawson is the representative. Osas is the representative. So guys, I need you guys to put on your timer. Now, do we have the timer on? Please, let's get our timer on. Yes, we have just 1 minute. You have just 1 minute to get the tears out. Men, we're advising you. This is I read it from a book, and I saw a video. They're trying to ginger themselves, right? So I read it from a book. Please, let's calm down. So I read it from a book. Osas, please. I read it from a book that is actually therapeutic to cry. It helps your emotions to settle. So as a man, I think it's something that you probably should be doing regularly, not in front of your wife. If you are married, Joe, before you say, my husband is, please learn how to get these emotions out, because you feel better when you cry. I think that's why women know how to walk away for some things than men. Men will just bottle, and when they want to explode, it's another level entirely. So let's get this on the show. Let's get this show on the road. Dotun is the Osas is the representative, Dotun is the representative. Do we have the timer on? Yeah, 1 minute. Yes, we have 1 minute. So you have the both of you have the 1 minute, and one person has to cry. So I don't know what you want to tell him. Yes, no, simultaneously.
Really?
Yes. So I don't know what you want to tell him. Prosper is trying to emotionally blackmail this guy into crying. Okay, are we ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Did you get anybody that cried?
Yeah, he's trying to cry.
Guys, you just... This is the moment of truth. We begged these guys to cry, and you'll be surprised on how women would just I would just weep. We don't really have time for that. Yes. So I'm advising you guys, if you have time to do this, try and do it. Try and communicate or talk to somebody. We still have another game. So we have this game, and we are going to have a timer on, and it's called fast phrases. Is out of the league of the entire cry or mental breakdowns. It's just to spice us up. So it's fast phrases. You pick out a paper from here. You can't tell the person the word, but you have to find words that tell the person the word. I hope you understand.
Synonyms?
Yes, synonyms of that word, but not the word. So we're going to have a timer on, and we have just 2 minutes each for the two groups. So the number of words you can beat up is the number of words that is points you made. So we're starting with group A. So who is going to be picking and who is going to be trying? So 2 people are going to be you pick. So who is going to be guessing the word?
They'll guess.
Are we ready? It is called fast phrases. Let's get this rolling. Start.
Cool thing.
Pardon?
Cool thing.
Ice cream.
Thank you. Money.
Dollars. Naira. Pound. Euro. Currency.
Thank you.
Am I the only one?
Shiny thing like woman wear.
Jewelry.
Funny Igbo pastor.
Just 1 minute remaining.
No.
Funny Igbo pastor.
Always wearing white.
Igbo pastor. White. Okotie.
No. Soccer.
Football.
No soccer is different.
Football field.
You cry when you cut it.
Onion.
Done. 2 minutes done. 2 minutes done. So we have 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You got 6. 6. Yeah. So, director, in Daboski. His name is Odumeje. He's in Daboski that was written. Director, Group A6. Group A6.
Odumeje is his name.
6. So, are we starting the timer? So, this is the fast phrases, and we have the who is going to be him. Okay. So, are we ready?
Yeah.
We can go answer, right?
Yeah.
Go. Answer.
Where you find the meaning of word?
Dictionary.
The take of the light and live on.
Electricity. Bulb.
No, the people.
NEPA.
Yes. Something like Fela used to do it.
Dance.
Smoke.
No.
Weed.
That they used to do for him every time.
Celebration. Concert.
The thing.
Okay,
Come on.
No.
Drink.
The celebration that they used to do.
Weed. Okay.
They call it something.
I think you can move past.
People that play football are called.
Players. Football players.
No.
Football players. Soccer. Players. Football.
They as and they pass. Pass.
Wait. Hey.
This thing. What's it called?
Table.
No.
Rug.
No, this thing. Like they are called everything.
Microphone. Okay, media.
Setup.
Setup.
No.
Camera. Oh my god.
They used to pound this.
Yam. Pounded yam.
Yeah. When they used to make stuff like they used to manufacture or something.
Factory.
Yeah. The city that has F tower.
Effort. Prairie.
Yeah. The place they used to buy something.
Shop.
5 seconds more.
Market. Okay.
Something
Cuts.
everywhere.
Cuts.
Bro.
Cuts.
This is my last one.
Cuts. Sorry, you can't. Sorry, drop it. So we have 1, 2,
Yeah. This
3,
funny show.
Oh,
4,
you did.
5, 6. So we have a tie. We have a tie. They have 6 and 6 here. So we're going to do it again, but we have 1 minute to do it for each.
Let them go first.
Yes.
Fairness.
So we have 30 seconds
Please.
for it.
Make your description very. Okay.
You're not supposed to change players.
Sorry.
So we're not supposed to change players.
Okay, go. But just describe it very well this time around, please.
You made your decision. Sorry, you have to stick with it. Are we ready?
Yeah.
Let's go.
This sports that the people that used to play this sport that they show.
Basketballers.
Yeah. As
Why?
one food that they used to do make with fruits.
Okay.
Salad. Yeah, I said it.
This country.
Nigeria.
No. He got to the first.
Yeah.
The people that used to influence on.
Influencers, show them the influencers.
You are not
On
supposed to say the
Instagram.
word. You are not
Not
done.
six.
No, you said influence. No.
Yes, no.
No, it's part of the word.
Instagram
It's part of
influencer.
the word. No, you
can't-
can't say it. You can't say it. So we have, it's part of the word. So we have 3 for you. And
You get
Let's
a
do
tote
this.
bag. How will you get a tote bag?
Your description.
It's weird.
How do you want to describe
Weird.
tote bag?
I think the first phrases just makes you try to think of
can't describe
words
it,
that
but I
you
want
can.
to pass that.
Are we ready? 30 seconds. 30 seconds. 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Let's do this.
Star witchcraft.
For time's sake, right?
Witchcraft. Witcher.
Sabrina.
No. British.
Harry Potter.
Thank you.
Wow.
You could not also that.
What is
Exactly. You are wearing it on you.
The dress.
No.
The necklace.
For audio.
Michael.
Mike.
We use it to edit.
Photoshop.
What?
Laptop.
Thank you. There are 7 in the world.
Continent.
Continent.
Thank you. You ready? Popular movie watched by girls.
Korean movies.
Thank you.
Done. That was amazing. We had 1, 2,
continent and 7 in the world.
3,
Like, come on,
4,
When I
5, 6. So guys, we have come to the end of today's episode. Some of my guests are not happy with themselves, but they'll sort it out outside. They'll sort it out outside the set today. I'm really glad you guys tuned in. We talked about mental health for men, vulnerability for men, and I want you to lean in on this. Let me know what you think about it. Leave down your comment section, your suggestions. Reach out to us via DMs and emails. We have come to the end of today's episode. I want to, give a shout out to all our sponsors on the show. KJM Foundation, thank you so much, for helping us out with, the episodes. And I think KJM Foundation